you know, we got back from our trip to Grove, Oklahoma, and of course I had to get my bathroom sink leak fixed, so I took it all, the adapter apart and everything, and I actually found what the problem was. It's actually a little hairline crack on that one adapter, and yeah, I can now understand how it was this microscopic little stream coming out of there. But this is, you know, the sink area, and basically what, you know, when you put a new faucet like we did in the waterfall faucet up here, this guy, of course, you know, it's got a hot and cold braided line, the compression fittings, and so, you know, since you're hooking up to the old flare right there, and you see the other side there, the adapters, there's two pieces for the adapter to get the flare to the compression, and I'll show you where I found the fault. But anyway, I had some sticky stuff on there because I flex sealed it temporarily and I didn't actually hold the water. But so yeah, let me show you what I bought to replace it. All right, so these are the new adapters, but you know, this is what I had in there, and of course they go like this. You had to bring these two adapters together to get your flare, which is a 3/8 inch flare to a 3/8 inch compression, and then you got pipe thread in between on these ends. So for this piece, it's from Lowe's here, so you can see these are what they call it, the 3/8 inch flare to the 1/2 inch FIP, and then over here was the 3-inch compression to the 1/2 inch MIP. They have all these names. MIP and the FIP can go together because they're, I guess, pipe thread. But it's just, I know it is always kind of confusing when you're tracking down these adapters for these rigs. I did buy a second one over here. They only had one of these, so I'll keep the package and make sure I go back and get the right one. But I want to have one of each on hand in case I ever run into something like this again. But here's the failure. What we saw, you know, in this adapter, and I had putty around here. Now I think I understand why I had put putty, because I had a leak when I first hooked it up on this one, but I didn't on the other. And you know, I did use Teflon, that seems to work fine. But we basically were seeing a stream come right out of the middle of this guy here, right out of the middle of it. And it was so microscopic. I mean, it was like a cobweb, like a hair. And then like it was just squirting out. It was actually hitting the braided line on the other side and dripping down off of that. And it took a while to even see the stream because it's so microscopic. But once I got this apart and I started spinning this around and kind of looking, you know, I got over here and I can see it. There's a hairline crack right there. And so this makes sense now that either it was bad when I bought it, I think it was bad when I bought it, or I over tightened it somehow and cracked it when I was installing it. And that must have been where the little leak was, because again, this whole area here is where I had putty come down to try to, you know, halt that leak when I first installed it 2 years ago. And it worked. I wasn't having any leak, but something finally, you know, happened and it gave out. But there it is, and just another example of something that can go wrong. Didn't see that coming either, but boy, it made a mess under there, and it was a surprising amount of wetness. So, all right, so the other project was the sink plumbing and that adapter right there with the cold water line. You know, apparently got a crack in it, and so we got the new adapters, got everything installed. And actually, while I was installing it, I had a leak on the crimp adapter, but the nut on that braided line for the cold. So I think I'd jacked it up some time back, and actually I'd pulled the little rubber seal out of it, and I think that might have had something to do with it. But I wanted to replace it, so I had to take the faucet off. I was able to actually get that thing screwed up in there, you know, with just a hand tighten kind of thing, actually, with 2 little rubber seals. And then anyway, I got it all sealed up, and it's looking good. I got one of those tiny little drops. I don't really want to tighten those adapters anymore for fear of cracking them. But I'll leave pressure on and actually turn pressure off and let this thing, you know, hopefully it's that tiny little drip type thing. I mean, it's so small, it's not really dripping, but it's emerging as a little droplet, and hopefully that will seal itself up here. But there you go.